Now the sound is back. Okay. So I've been talking to myself for a while now. So I said that I ended this trade with a half hour. That was a 15-minute gap. We're actually still at my entry. So guys, my mistake. So this was a 15 minutes, so I entered it just above it. We tapped it very closely, so just continuation to that 300 level. So we had a break of structure, a new break of structure. I took a half hour because we actually above that 50% level, so we didn't get back to fair value of level. So that's the reason why we took a half hour, and we have a 15-minute gap just below it too. So I'm aiming for 26,300. So that's a very small trade, cleaned 2R. Stop loss set that wick. Sorry for the sound. Thank you for the help. Morning, Nicholas. So I'll go over again what I said just a minute ago. The sound was not much. So this was actually yesterday's play that we were taking. So I took the first 15 minutes on this one. We entered with this wick. We took profit almost at the top again. We fully closed the trade when we came back. We entered again on this wick, or on this candle actually. It went up to that 15-minute level right here. I closed the trade, so that was the second trade that I closed, about 2 hour profit, and then actually the market started rallying. It did came back one more time to that hourly gap, so if anybody took this trade, you actually had the best play of the day. This one right here. I was expecting it, but I didn't expect us to take it one more time, so that would be the stop. That would have been huge play. Even just to the highs, that was actually already a 4R, so you didn't have to take it all the way, but that is actually insane, a 13R. That would have been done for the whole month for you guys, one trade. Relax for the rest of the month. So we are still looking for upward trends at this point. So nothing shows me yet that we want to go down. So I'm still looking for longs, no shorts or anything. It still looks that the market wants to go higher. So we do want to continue that trend as long as it flows to the upside. We don't want to look for shorts. We do want to look for shorts. Anything beneath that 50% level after break of structure is actually the best play that we can have. But for now, we're in it, so yeah. Sorry for the sounds, but it was on the screen that I was jumping into this. But thank you all for helping, because if you wouldn't say something, I would have been chatting for like a half hour or more without anybody having noticing. So thanks Emily and Wilmont for help. Also appreciate it for everybody's help that's helping out with the mailing, and so that you are responding. That helps actually for the algorithm to make sure that my email address gets verified. So this doesn't always happen, so this is also why I jumped into it. It actually tapped and then it started moving, so that was a clean 2R that we could make. Nothing to talk about, just a very easy trade. So again, we had a break of structure, we had a retest on a 15-minute, and we just continue higher. The best option is always under that 50 level, so if you take your fib tool from the lowest point to the highest, so this would have been that 50% level, that would have been better, but anything in between. So anything above it, take it for like a half R, anything below it, take a full R. This reduces the risk that you put actually into it. So if you have a 10% trade per thing, so take a 5% on the upside and a 10% on the downward ones. So first TP is actually this high. Well, this still looks very solid. This hourly came fully back down and then moved up, so that's also very pleasing to see. So looking for that 300 level, around that 300 level actually, that we should start taking more profits. Now, for now, just letting this play out. If you're in this with multiple contracts, you can just like take one contract off and then let the rest just flow up. So again, for anybody that never traded all-time highs, please guys, never short this. You can see even with that day gap or the week gap opening, look, this didn't even came back. It just kept rallying. So anybody that wanted the shorts and take it to that gap, that would have been insanely not smart. So when are we looking for shorts? So I'm gonna explain. Once we get below this level, you can look for shorts. So that means we're getting back to 26,166 before we actually can look for any shorts. Anything in between we can come to those gaps, of course, but we need a full change in character. So on a 15-minute base, that would be this level. So 26,220. Once we breach that level, we can say, okay, if we have a retest then and we see a continuation to short, we could short it. The next area would be till this level, and once we breach that level, then we can assume that we could go maybe to that day gap, but that's a huge trade. That's 700 points. I don't believe we will drop 700 points on FOMC. I don't think so. So I took one contract off, and my stop and my TP are now, my stop and my profits are now the same. So no matter what this trade does now, we came in a half hour for value gap too. So that was I didn't even see that. So we came in a 15-minute and a half hour actually. That we tapped. We did have a day opening gap too, right here. Not sure that this is finished yet because this is in the same how do I say this? This is the same trading zone, so that was Asia, and because it's still Asia taking it out, I'm not always sure that that this is filled. So I love to see this actually be traded in another zone. So if London takes this out, that would be better. But we're only looking for longs at this point, so we do need a full change in character before I ever want to short anything right now. Good morning, Vele. Morning, Nicolas. So that's back to entry. Now we're tapping. Nice feed at 15 minutes. So if you didn't enter, this is still the possibility. So I did see we have an hour gap right under it, so if my stop there gets triggered, I'll probably jump back in on that hourly gap because my stop is actually at that gap. So put it a bit lower right now, so this is now still a half hour something that I got into that trade. Still watching orb, so 20 seconds, no, 2 minutes and 20 seconds. So this is at 15 minutes, so actually my stop should be right here. So 26,002, and 1. That's my stop. So that's just the Wix candle and the fair value gap actually. So if this should hold, that should be the stop. That's a bit less than a half hour for me right now. So 1 more minute. I wanna actually see what close to the upside too. That would be better. We just cleaned off all these fair value gaps. no close, and looks like we had a bit of rejection back into that. That this is actually what I want to see. Would prefer actually the next 4 minutes to see this movement all the way back up. That would even be better. So when do we have news today? Let me take a look. We got at 9 a little bit of news, at 10, at 11, at 12, 1:30 we got huge news as a quarter before 3 in the afternoon, and at 3:30 in the afternoon too. So, and US interest rates decision at 7, so an FOMC states too at 7. So at 7 we have huge momentum. So if you're able to trade around 7 o'clock in the evening today at Belgium time zone or Brussels time zone, that would actually see what the market does on these kind of movements. So we could have a huge push up or a huge momentum or a huge spike down. It will depend on what they say. So if they cut the interest rates, that would actually push the market up hugely. I hope you guys jumped in this trade with me. How long this? You actually had a better entry as me if you had a bit of patience. So once we hit that 300 level, I expect us to move a bit sideways. So again, once we hit that 26,300 level, I would expect us to move a bit sideways from here off. So that would be actually huge TP. And then we will see what happens afterwards. If we breach through it and we don't move sideways, the next level is 350 of course. Good, morning Veerle. Not sure that I said that already. So while I'm being patient, I'm gonna get myself something to drink. If war breaches to the upside, that would look very nicely to continue to the highs, of course. I'll be right back. Now all we can do is just be patient and let the market do its thing. So we can see actually, if I tape read this along the way, how we actually moved. So we got rejected twice of this high. This is why we came actually back down. We closed a 5-minute gap fully. We closed a 15.5 hour. And now it looks like we are slowly but steady moving further upwards. Once we breach the high of 26,284, just once we actually close the orb to the upside, then we have a continuation. Then I'm full sure that we have that continuation. So this would be TP1, of course, the high of the candle. If you're only in with one contract, that should actually be your TP. We will see how far we actually can take this up. So anybody new to this trading strategy is we do a 15-minute breakout structure, we enter on a retest, and we take first TP actually at the last candle of the upper candle. So once we're moving down, this was actually the last candle. So we tap that candle and this is actually TP1. So that means that you actually take a contract off right there and then move your stop. That would be right here, that you could move your stop up. So you could move the stop up then to that wick. I would be patient right now until we have that break of structure again. If we do, then we can move stops up. For the moment we're just trading sideways. So we can see we're ranging inside of our pre-orb box. And this is very common and normal actually. Before FOMC that we have a bit of sideways movement. People thought yesterday it would be sideways too, but actually after that hour and a half or 2 hours sideways movement right here that we had, I think it was here, yeah. So if we put this on an hourly, it's Monday, yeah, this was that orb from yesterday and the afternoon session. You can see this was actually 3 hours of sideways movement, so a bit of chopped, and then we actually had the rally. It still actually moved decent, so it still moved above. That was yesterday, so that was yesterday, so that was the high that we could have taken, maximum 166 points, so still decent move, especially if you used to trade London. If you have another 60-point move in London, that's actually very nice to see. So again, if you're in with multiple contracts, this is actually 0.7. That high would be almost 1 hour. So again. I'll make it 295 instead of 299. Seen it happen so many times that we actually hit that and then we moved the other direction. Just like a few points off of it. Morning, Anthony. Love to see the consistency for all you traders. Keep going every day, every time, so very good to see. So that would be TP1 right here. If it starts to move higher, we will see. So to take one partial off right here. That's 1 hour actually. That should be around 1 hour. So this strategy shows that that is the play. So now the rest we will keep moving up and see what it brings us. So I'm going to do the same. I'm going to take one contract off right here. And the rest, we will see how far we get. So, once this candle closes up here, so we got about 2 more minutes and we have that 5-minute close too. If it closes above the high and it stops there, that means that we had a new break of structure, then we can move our stop up to that low. We should not come back down then. So that would reduce actually everything of this trade. So we were hitting definitely for that 300 level. So that's that 59 level that we hit right here. So if you have multiple contracts, that would be second contract TP right here. And if you have one more left, you can let the rest run, of course. I did not, so I'll close the trade. That was my last contract that I had inside. So I'm fully out right there. And that was a 1.6, yeah, 1.6 hour, something like that I made. Nonetheless, still looks very bullish. So that was ATP actually. So I'm full out. I'll log this trade. Warp 30 seconds to that breach. Or pre-warp actually. Not always happens that we have an easy play in the morning session. I love it this way. If we come into stream, we can do it immediately. So I'm up to back to 22.9. Jesus, actually, this is. Oh, these are the only trades that I took were live on stream. So I had two more trades that I took actually, but they were off stream, so I didn't actually add to them. So 15 minutes after a boss, we took a long at 15 minutes retracement and 30 minutes FEG2. Good clean entry. Took it to 26,295 round number. So 200 divided. So I'm at 339.58 divided by 200. That's 1.69. 69 and then 1.69. The trade was activated at 8, and this would be that 300 level that we hit right now. 1 point off. So our breach to the upside, by the way. I'll come back to that. Need to log that trade first. So 8 o'clock and 8:30 was done. 8 and 8:30. So 100 trade challenge. We are up 24 and we're trading 6. That's 10. That's 20. 30 trades, 40. I'm also 50 trades right now, and I'm up 24.6 R. Now in the total this month on 13.4 R. The next month was 21, so this looks good. Last day of the month, a nice 13 R on this trade. And total, not on this trade, that would be. Yeah, yesterday's trade, if you should have been able to hold that one through for now 1 hour straight up, that was a 13R trade. That would be my full month. So if you ever make a trade like say 10R or something like that, please do not trade anymore that month. It's no use. No. It's no point of giving back what you actually already made. So if you're still in this, let me know. I'll tape read it for you. Move some drawings. So if this one closes to the upside again, we have actually again here a new break of structure then. Not yet. It needs to be closed candle, of course. Once we have that closed candle, we do have the new break of structure. So we got about 1 minute and 10 seconds, and that's a decent 8-10 points. That's okay. This was about the same here, 20 points. So prefer to be at least 10-20 points above it. If we fall back into it, that is no break of structure. So that would not count then, of course. So we got 1 more minute, we will see what brings out here. Like I said, once we hit that 300 level, that we would stall a bit. All normal trading styles. So this is no break of structure right now. This is, if we fall under it, that's actually a failed break of structure. So that would actually show us that the market is actually possible to go a bit lower to take some liquidity. Because at 1 point is no break of structure. It needs at least 10-15 points. Okay, forgot to show the order position. Yeah, we need to take this at least to 340 right here before we can actually make anything off of this. So no 15 minutes right now, so we will have to be patient. We can still be a half-hour break of structure, of course. You can see the same logical movement that we have in a half-hour that we have actually in a 15. We just have a bit less candles. So again, break of structure, retest into a gap, continuation, and again we closed up above the high. We had again continuation. We had a retest where we actually entered in this candle, and then we had a continuation. So if this one closes inside again, that means that we actually took liquidity from those highs, and then we tend to go back the lower to a point of liquidity. So the first point of liquidity would be this gap right here. This is an hourly gap. Is it an hourly? What was it? Oh, 15 minutes. Better show it actually. So this is a 15 minutes. And we have an hour just above it. Okay, it can tap actually both and still be in the right direction. So if this hourly gets tapped, then that 15 minute, that would still be play, because this would be a change in character once we breach that low. So that was a clean trade today, so if you have to do something else, perfectly fine. Happy to help. So if anybody is new to the channel and is interested in learning this, there's a link in the Discord. There's a link in my bio where you can actually learn the strategies that I do. We do a live in the afternoon session too. That's on Discord only. So keeping this open, so we'll see if this comes a 15 minutes. There's no further value gap yet, so we're just being patient. We still need about 10 more minutes in this. Well, there was a small break of structure, not the biggest, but if this 30 minute closes back inside, that's no break of structure at all. This is how we can actually see those run numbers, how accurate these actually are. Okay, this came. The high was 99, so we came a point off of it. But people already know inside here that I say take it 10 points off or 5 points off of it, like I did today. Then you're good to go. So we're 10 minutes before open of London. We'll see what happens. Not eager to jump at a trade right now because we already made 1.6R, so not really needed to jump into anything. So that's no more gap right now, so this is fully closed. So I can take this off the screen. So if you took some profits, share it in Discord. I also appreciate it, always. You can also share it on any social media if you want to. That's always nice. Then I can just link it to mine. If you ever share it on Instagram or anything, just tag me in it if you're joining the streams. It helps me and the channel grow, and I appreciate the help that you give me. There are too many gurus out there that tend to trade good. And we need some good traders, some good educators actually in the space. So the more that people find us, the better. So we can help them grow. Believe me, any new trader, I've been through all of your not happy moments. I've seen them all. So if you ever need any help, let me know. I'm here for you. Even though if you're in the Discord and you're not a paying customer, it doesn't matter. Just join, have fun, ask me some questions. I'm still here to help. So I actually make my money out of trading. So this came back actually fully close to 5-minute gaps. I'm gonna have just a second to read that pre-orb session. So we came back into a gap, looks good, so we should retest it. Now should we back to the highs? That would actually be a beautiful play. Once we breach the high again at 300 level and continue, we are good to go. I like this orb better than yesterday's actually, because we are actually continuing to the highs. But like I said, we have a few news, so in about 5 minutes we have some news, so some volatility will come into play because they need to release some numbers. Oh, and believe me, my course is actually very cheap in the trading business. It will help you understand actually how the markets move. If I'm fully honest, I paid around, I believe, $15,000-$20,000 on courses. So I've paid my share. And it was actually none of them that really gave a full structure meaning of the trading or how it worked. I actually didn't need any of them. None of them gave me a journal either, so none of them actually learned me this. This is actually the most important thing. Your journal so that you can improve, so that you can see what we make every month, what we get every month, which weeks are the best, which days are the best to trade. Look, I even had, Thursdays are not good, no good trading days for me. I got like on 11 trades, I got a minus 1.6, so Thursdays are not a good trading day for me. And this is Sunday, so that means actually night, or the morning session on the Monday. So if you see this build up after a while, you see this continuously growing that number, and see that minus grow instead of that gets a plus. So you can just erase that day of trading and don't watch it that day, a day free actually that you have. The more information you got, the easier it is actually to know this. This is actually not even mine, so I share it. I got this from Playbit. It's Playbit's journal. Very great, very nicely made. That's the first journal that I actually see. I had one previously, a little bit smaller than this, but never this nicely shown everything. The good thing that you actually know also how many times that you don't have a streak also of not profit, so you can actually have like consecutive not profit. So I had like 3-4 days after each other. That means that I can have like 4 days with not profit too. This can happen. So that's good to know that you actually see this. So if you have this, okay, just be okay with it. So that you don't feel discomfort once this happens. You still need to take a second trade, a third trade, a fourth trade afterwards too, without that feeling or that emotion that gets attached to it. And that's not the easiest part, believe me. Because we're all human and we are all learned to use emotions, we all have them. So it's okay to have them, but trading, they're not very useful. And I'm sure most of you already felt a few of them, chasing trades, going after it when it started rallying and didn't dare to jump in it when it was actually at this low. And believe me, I still feel them, so they're never gone. You just get used to them. You just get used to building up trust for yourself. By repeating that process over and over again, you actually build that confidence to take that trade every time. In the beginning, it doesn't feel comfortable at all, but you just have to take them and trust the process. And if you want to learn actually, that's 15-minute strategy. I also can advise you to take actually 50 trades or 30 trades without taking anything off. There's no profits taking or no stops. So any trade, just let it ride. If you will do this over and over again, you will see that you actually have more profit than while you take profit at TP1. And this is something your brain needs to visualize, or most of the people need to see this visually. So still no break of structure, we got about 20 seconds to see if this one closes to the high. So this 15-minute looks nicely, fully back up to the high. We sadly enough did not get another 15-minute inside, so there was no trading off of it, and in 1 minute we have opened. So we'll see what open does. But this still looks like a bullish structure at this point. So anybody in this orb, this looks good. No matter if we're not hit yet the high, but it still looks like it wants to go higher. Yep, I don't believe that London will give us 46-point drop, a 35-point drop to that hourly gap. I don't see it happen straight off of it. Or the news should be really not good. No, it's even green, so that means that's good for the market. So it's red, so that means it's good for the market. So market just took the high. Now I want to see a continuation. We took that 300 level. If we want to continue here, we want to see that push right from here. I know everybody else trading to have more freedom and have a bit more blah blah blah. Had a bit more have a bit more freedom, of course. So once we actually made that profit, you should actually be done for the day. So if you're in the pre-orb, yeah, that was an adding spot. I didn't remember to put it. So now we see we had a break of structure. Clean movement. Okay, now this is a huge break of structure, so this is a great. If that one closes up, that looks very nice then. Yeah, on the half hour we did have a small break of structure right here. So we're now letting this display. We should go right. 140 would be great. That would be 1 hour. If you add it, that would definitely be a 2 hour trade that you have here. 2-3 hour if you hit that 340 level. So here we will stall a bit at the beginning and then we should nicely continue. What I don't want to see right now, if this 5 minute gets all the way back into that range, that I don't want to see. I know we have a small fair value gap right here, but I prefer not to see it happening. So for that, we went out of trade, so we're done for today. Looks like we will need at least another half hour before we have a value gap somewhere, so we have to be patient for that continuation trade. If you still had a contract and let it run, happy for you. We're back at the 300 level right now. So here it would be nice to see us continue up higher, because we took out Asia. So London just took out all highs, all liquidity right here. We came to a round number. So I do prefer us to see us go up higher. If you're still in that previous trade that we took, actually, you could put your stop to entry. We should not come back all the way down here. Anybody new to the channel? Pre-orb is actually my own invention. Orb is just open range breakout structure, like actually that we play. All the strategy that I actually give inside the Discord or to the traders that actually joined the bootcamp is all proven, front tested and back tested. So live traded or back tested already, and then afterwards traded live. So I got about almost 60 trades right now on this one, or almost 50 trades on front testing, a 15-minute continuation play, and actually this plays out nicely. So from the 19th September until now, I've been doing this. Before that, I did sweep. I didn't like that one because I'm not a reversal player. I'm actually a continuation player. So I still have it. The full explanation is also in my journal. It makes up huge trades, but you have to be able to endure a lot of not profitable trades too. So this is why I switched to a 15-minute actually. This was when I traded London or pre-orb, New York orb and London. So I done a few. Every month was actually profitable. No, there was one month. Look, no, there was all months were profitable. So that was April, July, June. So this is orb and pre-orb. We're adding huge amount of profits too. So both strategies actually were perfectly fine. You just need to know how to add the trades and when not to. All explained inside the bootcamp and inside the Discord. For every strategy I have a PDF except of that 15-minute continuation. That one I still need to make. What a flexer I am? What do you mean by that, Anthony? I have no idea what that even means. Nice, great. Love it, love to see it. Okay, now I know what you meant. What do you mean? He actually meant this one. That he took yesterday he logged that he took a 3.3 R off of it. With a half R risk, so that's a very beautiful play. I've been sitting here for many days too, but I didn't have any trades in the morning session. Well, just Initio had the long session and that was it. And now again, we were lucky that we came in, we had a tap and it rallied further off. We could have just been here, sitting here for the whole day and be patient too. So you didn't know the market. Of course, the market's closed. It's this is why we have an opening gap. So this opening gap right here is because the markets were closed on the weekend. So from Friday till Sunday, they don't open. So for me, in my time, it's actually Friday night at 10:45 it closes, or at 10:50 it closes, and then it reopens at 11 the Sunday for me. That's Belgium time actually. And most of the times, if you are able to trade actually this session here, most of the times that open, this is actually a great session to trade. Every week opening gap that we see, we'll see actually most of the times, the Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays. So we have Fridays. This is Monday, so here again, we had the opening. You could just log, look at this was just an easy trade, nothing to have. So this was all Asia until here. Now we had a small retracement and we had the continuation. So Asia's, the morning session of Mondays is actually very easy. That would actually be late night Sundays for me, but I don't trade at that time. But if you ever have the time to study it, you can see after the weekend, most of the times we have a nice fluid movement. It closes for an hour in the night. Why is it closed? Because it's manipulated. You're not allowed to trade at night. So you're not allowed to trade between 10 and 11. So we have like an hour close. I believe it's an hour that we have a close. Yeah, normally it closes at 10 evening for me and it reopens at 11. So there is an hour that we actually don't have anything. Yeah, it closes every day for 1 hour. It's no crypto, man. This is why people can buy over the corner. So people buy actually stocks and trade them over the corner, over the desk. That means that they can buy it with their broker cheaper. And when it opens, the market actually jumped up that far. This is how they liquidate people too. If you're an intraday, you actually don't need it. But if you're not an intraday trader, you those opening gaps can be very not good. Yeah, we trade the day itself, so we actually don't feel that opening gap. So if you are in pre-orb and it starts moving again, if you're still in this, looks good. Once we take that high, I want to see now, here I want to see that continuation. I don't want to see it fall back now. Otherwise I would close that first and the adding, I would leave it open still. But otherwise I would close that first trade. We have about a minute still left, but I do want to see it continue because I see this as the same reaction that we had after tapping a for value gap right here, 5 minutes. We closed below that wick, so we took out this wick, but that's open, so it's a bit of a different story then. But once we close below that wick, that means that this for value gap actually didn't hold the strength. So this is what I want to see now. I want to see that for the next 50 seconds close above here. I want to see that continuation. If it stays above here, that would be perfectly fine. Once it stays above here, that means that we still have that push to go higher. If that doesn't happen and we fall all the way back like to your first entry, I would close that first trade and just leave this one open. That will reduce definitely all the risk that you're still in it. I'm just reading price along the way. So if you've never heard of price reading, the candles are your product, and it's actually also the language that we need to learn. It's like learning English or French, but then sticks. It's like the Egyptian people. They actually were using drawings, so we are using candles as our reading. And once you learn to read them, you cannot unsee it. It's like riding a bike. You can always see them. Again, it never works at open. So this is the time. So there are 3 times that actually candles you cannot read them. So one time is open. So at open you could see a strange story happening the first 15 minutes of open. So leave that alone. Second thing is we are chopping or ranging, then candles don't hold value too. As long as we have a continuation up or down, you can read it. If you don't have a continuation, it's not possible to read. So same here, we had an infinite candle right on this. What did we do? We had a bit of sideways and a bit of down movement. This candle said that we had a down movement, so for value gap, tap, and we had a down movement to where? To that retest part of that continuation. Doesn't look like I will have another trade in the next hour. So no gaps, no for value gaps yet created to trade off. We have a few inside here, but I don't want to trade lower time frames. They're not accurate enough. I tried a few already. Like last week I tried one right here. That was a 3-minute retracement. Didn't play out, put it to stop not correct. Yeah, only crypto stays open overnight, Anthony. So no other thing except of crypto is 24 hours, 7 days on 7 that you can trade. All the rest, stocks, gold, silver, doesn't matter what it is, it always closes. We're back at entry right now. This is what I meant by I wanted to see it close above. And I also said, once we hit that 300 level, that we will go chopping or sideways a bit. Market is building up liquidity to push the market to some level. So this is that chopped level, what I was talking about. it's easy actually to read markets once you see them move constantly. They actually repeat itself constantly over and over again. If you are ever in a chopped market and the market is continuing to one direction, this doesn't hold value. That means anything in here shows that the market still is doing the same direction what it used to be doing. So if you're in a continuation trade to the upside, if this happens and it starts chopping, that means that the market is still continuing up higher. It just wants to confuse the traders that want to trade inside these candles and then continue the movement. So just be patient and let this trade still play out. As long as we are still chopping around here, that means that this trade is still valid. Thanks for the thumbs up, everybody. Always happy. If you're new to the channel, always subscribe that you can see me do it every day.
Your colleagues and boss.
So this is how I became
9 in 10 young people in the UK.
This is also what I suggested once we came back down that you should have taken out of that trade. So good thing to know too, London Tex tries to take the high or the low of the day. So if this was the high of the day and we see London start dropping, that means that FOMC will definitely make a huge move down and then have that move back up. Even though that interest rates would drop, that means that there is more money being printed again. So there's the economy is supported to go up higher. That means that we could see a drop first before that continuation, because we actually already saw the move up. So this was a 600 point move up this week, so this is a very decent move for a week. So if we have a drop, we will definitely drop like 300 points down. Believe me, FOMC, everybody that actually are rich, they already know what will come out. And they have taken advantage of that news before it actually happens. And they are the ones that actually push the market down up. Still at the same level. Not strongly push up or down right now. Hope you reduced at least this trade, like I asked. So that you're still in with one. That would be a tap of the fair value gap that was a bit before. If you only are in with one, so this should be only a half our risk if you took some profits at a high. I know it's not much, but we're just sitting here anyway. And pre-warp has not been played out for 2 or 3 days right now, so just want to make sure that you keep your profits. Okay, I'll stay on for another half hour. We'll see if the market shows us anything. If not, we'll all call it a day, of course. We made our profits on that movement. So I'm not staying online for just to stay online. That's not needed, of course. If you have any questions, just ask. Let me help you. I'm here to do that. The more questions you ask to me, the faster I can help you grow in your trading style. It doesn't matter if it's psychological questions, the mindset questions, or anything else. Or how to actually have a good money management, anything, ask. They all come on hand also in the trading bootcamp, so if you want to do it, you can. You also get an accountability partner, that's my wife. She is very strict, and I believe some of you can already tell that. She does her best to follow up everybody. And if I get your live journal, I'll definitely review it for you too. So anybody that has a journal that wants me to go over it, share it to me. I'll go over it. We'll help you grow too. So 24.6 on almost 50 trades. That means 1 out of 2 trades we make 1 hour, so that's a great result. And no, most of the trades, if I hold longer, we actually would have had so much more. So you can rewatch this. I have this agenda is fully open, so anybody can watch it. We could sit here all day chopping around before FOMC, so remember that today will be a little bit less volatility. Just because of the news that comes out, people tend to be more patient. I never trade news, so you will never see me trade anything of news. I don't like it. It's all plus or all nothing, so you can... I do know a way that you can trade it, but you do have to know then also it can cost your account. So you could have a full account immediately, but it can just blow your account. So if it goes correctly, you're good. If it doesn't go correctly, it's not so good. So what you have to do, I'll even explain it here, so it's a very easy trick. So where was that news candle from this week? We had actually a huge candle. I believe this was one of them, the 130, 230. I believe this was one of these. It was a 15 minutes. I know somebody traded that from us. So I'll just explain what you can do. So what you can do is actually say that this is the news, gonna be the news candle. From the point where we're at, so if this is the last candle, so with a wick on both sides, and we have actually no idea where the market wants to go, because it's news, it can't do anything. You just take the center, the high of this candle, and put 30 points above an entry, and 30 points below an entry. And you let your trigger in. So most of the times it just goes like 20 points down and then it moves to a direction. So it's just a glitch in the market. So what does it do? If it drops 30 points, you get triggered in both sides. So then you will get your account blown, of course. But if it's the last part of your account and you see this happening and you trigger yourself and you set a limit order and you take it, you have also a take profit. So take profit should be 20 points lower. So only 20 points. So that would be your target. But you have to put in three full contracts. So for 20 points, so you get $20 per contract. If you calculate that, so if you have $20 per contract per point, so that's x20 per 20. So that's $400 and x3, so that makes you $1,200 immediately off that trade. This is how you can trade news actually, if you want to. I'm not a fan of it, so I wouldn't trade it. I prefer to do it normal style, it's more easy. Less risk and more accuracy. Better for your trading style too. So if you ever do this, just see that as a pure gamble actually. I know if somebody heard this, they will definitely test it. Yeah, enjoy Beaumont. Thank you for being here, man. I'll stay on for another 20 minutes and then it will be done for me too. We just sit here anyways, not much movement. I made the profit for today, so we're good. For anybody that did make profit already today, be calm with the rest of the day. Just let the day do its thing. If we see any retracement that we have, we should continue long off of it. So we have a 4-hour gap just below us, right here. We have the opening gap that still has a bit of strength in it. So we have a 1-hour gap right here. So anything that we have a 1 hour, a 30-minute laying over each other, just long off of it. Once we breach this low on 26,221, we are changing character. So then we have a full structure to the downside. Unless that happens, just long. Anything in between that level and that level, with a retracement, you can just take a long off of it, back to the highs. So you can see this is chop market. We just took liquidity again. We just came back and we're sitting here right now. Not much to talk about. Happy that we took that trade. Okay, I'll get myself one more drink, and if we don't see anything happening, we call it a day, of course. Not much that we can do by just watching candles anyway, so. So this is the last tab that I actually want to see get hit on that pre-orb. I do hope you guys reduced at least. You can actually, if you reduced up there, you can actually re-enter it right here. So you actually have the same trade with 25 points less stuff, less not profit. They just enter the same amount of contracts. No need for more. And this will take out. Looks like it will go a bit lower right now. There were no gaps to trade off of, so not much to say. So London looks like it wants to have the high of the day. Okay, look, this is something we don't want to be seeing after we hit actually a gap. So we flushed through this gap right now. This is a stop, so it's still protected, so nothing's happening yet, but that's a rather strong candle that we see once we get to that level. We did had that 300 level hit, and now it looks like it will have a bit more downside. Well, unless we breach 26,261, we're still up. That was an orb close, by the way, to the downside. So orb itself said we are going lower. We did have an up. Oh no, that was a jump, so that doesn't count. That's the first close actually of orb itself. If London wants lower prices, we are heading at least for. So once we start breaking low, so if we break 26,260, we're going for 26,221. That would be the first target that I can see that could get hit. Now that was a stop no matter where you put it actually. It closed fully at the end of the orb. So pre-orb, no profits unless you took some off of the table. Okay, both trades are played out for now. Looks like that will be it for me. If I see anything else, and along the way, of course, I still need to make my sales page. It needs to get done today. So I have some other work that I actually need to get finished before we already traded. We took some profits, so happy for all of you that took that trade with me. Now, for the rest of the day, any retracement, we have full long off of it, guys. Don't think about shorting the market yet. Nothing shows me yet that we are actually in a downtrend. We're still moving up. If somebody does not see that we are trading ups, that you definitely need to learn. And it's easy, just draw a trend line beside it and you can see we retap that and we should continue higher from here. Okay, I wish you a great trading session in London if you are still trading it, and see you back, John, if the market closes for 1 hour every day. That means that my opened That my open position closed 2 on top step? Yeah. They close it automatically for you. So when did it close? Top step does not trade overnight. So every time the market closes, it closes overnight. So if you left the runner, so say that you entered the trade right here somewhere and you had a continuation, it came up, back down, and when this candle closes at 9:45 or at 10 o'clock actually, this one closes. Where it closes here, this is where your trade should close. And it does not reopen, it stays closed until you re-enter a trade. Yeah, only crypto you can trade overnight. Unless you have a real broker. So if you have a broker yourself, that's something different. Then you can trade overnight, but you have to pay night fees. Have a great day. Enjoy it the rest of the day. For the rest too, see you all back this afternoon. Discord of course, and wish you all a great trading session.